Yeah, hello. I am Pastor Tenua Livingstone, working with the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Uganda. I am also teaching at the university, but I'm a missionary with the Adventist World Aviation. We have had a couple of years discussion, correspondences with Adventist World Aviation, and they had a plan of expanding their project to Uganda. And we thought it would take really long. I've been in a connection with Adventist World Aviation for 5 years now, a little over 5 years. But I'm excited, we are happy that Pastor David and Mary, they have at last arrived in Uganda. What they are looking at in Uganda is partnership with the different entities, SDA entities, partnership in expanding the gospel mission aimed at saving people for eternity, working with the people to preach the gospel, lifting the gospel. If it happens to have an airfield at Bugema or anywhere in Uganda, lifting the gospel, and that involves so many activities, medical missionaries, taking preachers, and so on. Basically, it is a humanitarian service. So we are happy that they are here for discussions with the different entities, administrators, like the Vice Chancellor, the Union President, and his committee, ADRA Director, and so on. That is what is going to happen, and we're yet to see how events unfold. But we thank God that He has made it. It is God-made, and we expect much more to be revealed to us. God has that program.
The partnership between ADRA and Adventist World Aviation has played a vital role in delivering humanitarian aid and essential services to communities in need. Through ongoing dialogue, strategic planning, and a shared commitment to faith-driven service, these two ministries have continued to pursue their mission of serving God by serving others. One of the cornerstones of this collaboration has been the intentional effort to remain aligned with the spiritual values that guide both organizations. Regular meetings, prayer sessions, and joint planning have helped reinforce this purpose. In Uganda, engagement with local church leadership has been especially significant. Meetings with key church leaders have not only strengthened ties within the faith community, but have also contributed to the expansion and visibility of mission projects across the region. To give us a better understanding of these logistical difficulties and how ADRA is navigating them, we will now hear from John Mwanza, ADRA's country director in Uganda.
I'm John Mwanza. I'm country director for ADRA Uganda, and I have been here in Uganda for the last 2 years. The biggest humanitarian challenges facing Uganda today is to do with movements, because some of the areas where we go to and where we have activities like ADRA are quite far, and it takes the whole day just to travel from one place to another, and even at times taking materials. Areas like Karamoja, Yumbe, the north that is in Kitgum, but also even in Kasese. So traveling is really a challenge, because one has to spend the whole day just moving from Kampala to those particular areas. And so you can be able to utilize this time on something else. And even when you get there, you are quite tired. And that probably even the following day, you will not be able to function quite well.
Some regions are completely unreachable without roads. Others allow limited vehicle access. But even then, transport is tough, especially when rain turns paths to mud. In emergencies, time is critical. Planes help, but many still face long, difficult drives to reach a mother in labor, a sick child, or a village in need.
Looking at aviation, of course, I have worked in South Sudan. I was there for 5 years. I worked in even other areas like in the Middle East. And in South Sudan, you have no roads. Here in Uganda, it's beautiful that we do have roads, but it's just the issue of time. And so aviation plays a bigger role in cutting the time which the person has to be able to move. And so when we talk about aviation in Uganda, then it will be easy for me to move, to cover a distance which I cover by road in 8 hours. I can cover it within 2 hours or 1.5 hours, and even start working that particular day. Even the visitors we get from Europe who come to monitor our programs, at times they get really tired. And they ask us how they can be able to cut time, because they do have other areas where they need to go to, or other countries. And so once they come to, let's say, Uganda, probably they will want to continue their trip to South Sudan. But because of distance, you find that they will just dedicate to come to Uganda for 3 days, for 4 days, and then they return. And so that really is going to help and support our humanitarian efforts.
To help overcome these challenges, AWA, together with ADRA, took bold missionary steps, reaching out to government institutions that recognize the impact of this work and chose to partner with us. Through this collaboration, aircraft were made available to transport essential supplies to remote and isolated communities, places where hope often arrives by air. These efforts have not only provided food, medicine, and emergency care, but have also brought comfort and dignity to people in desperate situations. It's a clear sign that AWA is not just about aviation. It's a ministry led by compassion, driven by faith, and fully committed to saving lives.
Missionary initiatives, I can say yes, but even if we're talking in terms of the aviation sector, yes, we've had some partnerships, especially where I was working in South Sudan, where we had partnered with the 1 or 2 airlines, which was helping us to move commodities from Juba to other areas like Upper Nile. And so it was pretty easy, because in South Sudan there are no roads. And so it was quite easy, and we were able to move faster those particular commodities or project supplies, but also were able to implement activities on time because of those particular partnerships. And so we're excited that AWA is interested to come to Uganda, that they can be able to offer such type of a service. And if we were to partner with them, yes, we would benefit greatly, and not just ADRA, but even other humanitarian organizations. They will also be excited about this.
Hi everyone, my name is Rhoda Anyango. I'm from Kenya, Africa, and currently I'm in Uganda. I met the Adventist World Aviation through the social media platform. I was really amazed by the work that they are doing, reaching the forgotten in the earth. And also one thing that also attracted me, being a civil engineer, is that you didn't have to be a pilot for you to be part of the aviation team. So me being a civil engineer, I thought my services could also be needed, because apart from flying to reach the forgotten, they also offer services like maybe building services, which I can be part of it. So that is what I'm aiming for, to be part of the team, and also to do much concerning my career, to bring my career into the team, so that we can be able to help people around the world.
The mission to save lives goes beyond physical borders. It starts in the heart of each one of us, with a simple act of compassion, a step of faith, and a commitment to those who need it most. If you've ever wondered how you can make a difference, know that the answer lies in your willingness to serve. Whether through volunteering, supporting a mission project, or even going to the field, the mission is waiting for you. As AWA and ADRA have shown, every small act, when done with love and dedication, has the power to transform lives. God calls us to be His hands and feet in the world. Join us and become a missionary. Be the difference the world needs.
My message would be, this is a cause, it is a noble cause, which is coming to us right now. And of course, this type of service is going to reduce the cost of doing business, meaning that we will be able to concentrate or move some of these budget lines to the areas where the funds are most needed. And so I would say that yes, and I would encourage any of the organizations out there who need this particular support to come forward and be able to support this particular cause, because it is important, not just for the company or the NGO that is going to bring the service, but even the implementer, because this is going to serve those who are hurting in the communities, because now we can be able to utilize the money in the communities and not on transport, because transport is going to be reduced. And I therefore urge you, wherever you are and whatever you are doing, to be able to support this particular cause and be able to donate something to the airline for them to continue providing the service to those who are suffering in the communities.
Working with Adventist World Aviation requires a high level of responsibility and strategic oversight. Coordinating a team across more than 5 countries necessitates the presence of AWA representatives to ensure effective communication and efficient operations. In light of this, Pastor David, accompanied by his wife Mary, traveled to Uganda to assess and improve operational processes, aiming to optimize the mission's impact in the region.
Hello everybody, I'm David and I have my wife Mary.
Hello everybody, I'm Mary. I love in Uganda. My first time in Uganda. I love the disease, the foods, the people.
I serve as a pastor for the Seventh-day Adventist Church, as well as a missionary pilot. Currently, I hold the position of Director of Global Operations, as well as speaker for Adventist World Aviation. And what brings me to the beautiful land of Uganda is the fact that we have a representative in Uganda, Pastor Tenwa, who we just met in person for the first time, and we can't wait to work with him as we expand our influence, our operations here in Uganda. We'll be having a series of meetings with church leaders, university leaders, and we want to make as many connections as possible. And the goal is one, which is saving souls for God's kingdom.
With established bases and active operations in over 5 countries, AWA serves as a logistical and operational support ministry, providing essential services to both church-led initiatives and underserved communities. Working in partnership with local pastors from SDA, AWA helps extend the reach of mission efforts to remote and otherwise inaccessible regions.
You might be asking, what is it AWA? So Adventist World Aviation, that's what it stands for. And it started 30 years ago with the former president, Bob Falkenberg. He gathered a number of professional aviators, and the intention he had was to reach the unreachable, to reach places where radios, television, doctors, nursing homes, Adventist schools couldn't go. Even pastors couldn't go. So he comes up with a plan of reaching those that are forgotten, as we call them. So today we operate a fleet of over 30 aircraft around the globe, and that includes the Philippines, Canada, Alaska, Brazil, Guyana, expanding the operations in Uganda as well. So Central America, Asia, Africa. We also operate within the United States, and that's what we call Angel Wings flights, where we take cancer patients for treatment, as well as war veterans for nursing home relocation. So that's a little bit of what AWA does around the globe, and our main goal is saving souls, reaching the lost, and helping the forgotten peoples of the earth.
Adventist World Aviation, in strategic collaboration with Uganda University, has been expanding its missionary outreach through tangible initiatives. Among these, the donation of land for the construction of an airstrip stands out as a critical development, enabling more efficient and far-reaching aviation operations. This milestone marks a transformative step in strengthening mission efforts throughout Uganda.
So I have Dr. Israel here with me, and we are on the land that belongs to the Uganda University here in Uganda. And we have some amazing, exciting plans to share with you. And I thank you so much, Dr. Israel, for the support, for the hospitality of, receiving AWA here at Uganda University. So tell us a little bit about what we see here. The land that we have, and it's just beautiful. We have a potential place for a runway here, an airstrip, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yeah, we for long we have been, cultivating here, growing seasonal food, but we still have a big land, and getting a strip here for runway can be easy for us. We have a forest the other side. It is planted. It can be cut down any kind. Thick forest, and the place here is completely flat, as you see. All the way from the other end up to the end, it's over kilometers. So we need to feel, over a mile.
Over a mile?
Yes. Yes. So we need to feel that this can act as this would. So
Every missionary journey begins long before the first step is taken. Sometimes it starts as a quiet whisper, a seed planted by God through the people we meet and the stories we hear. This is the story of Kyle, an aviation mechanic who never imagined he'd leave behind his career, uproot his family, and enter the mission field. But God had a plan. Through the influence of others, the faith of his wife Rebecca, and a series of divine appointments, Kyle's path took a turn he never expected. What began as a career in aviation became a calling to serve. This is his journey, a journey of obedience, transformation, and unwavering faith. Before Kyle ever considered joining a mission organization, God had already planted that seed in his heart. Over the years, through the example of those around him, that calling began to grow and take root. For 17 years, Kyle worked at the flight school, training many aspiring aircraft maintenance and repair technicians. His mentorship equipped them with the skills to meet the demands of modern aviation and inspired a passion for excellence. Working alongside them and witnessing their dedication sparked admiration and deep respect. In his heart, he often thought, one day, maybe, but could I really do something like that? Time went on, and while others gently nudged him toward missions, it was his wife, Rebecca, who asked the life-changing question. She wasn't asking him to join. She herself was considering joining and wanted to know if he'd be by her side. That question struck a chord deep within Kyle. He had already been feeling that pull. Her question simply confirmed what he had been sensing. That's how, almost unexpectedly, they came across Adventist World Aviation, AWA, and were welcomed as missionaries in training in 2018. Still living in Oregon, Kyle began serving where he could, aircraft maintenance. One of his first assignments was performing the annual inspection on aircraft N5979E, which had flown down from Canada to Hillsborough Airport, where he worked. Later that fall, Kyle and Rebecca traveled to Tacoma, Washington, to dismantle another aircraft, an 708, pack it into a container, and ship it to the Philippines. 2 years later, Kyle would be in the Philippines reassembling that very plane as AWA's lead mechanic. In 2019, Kyle received the call to join AWA's headquarters team as Chief of Aircraft Maintenance. The answer came quickly. Yes, though not without hesitation. How would they move an entire family across the country in just 2.5 weeks? But God took care of every detail, and soon, a new chapter began. Now, 5 years later, looking back on all they've experienced, the highs and lows, the challenges and victories, the personal and spiritual growth, Kyle sees how much working in ministry has changed him. His technical skills mattered, but more than anything, his heart had been transformed. Serving in ministry changes you. Moving across the country was a big deal, but shifting from a career in aviation to a life of ministry, that was something else entirely. Today, Kyle understands that this journey has been one of faith. He remembers the words of a pastor before their big move. Don't look back. Move forward with the plans God has made for you. And those words have been confirmed in Scripture. Isaiah 43:18-19. Do not remember the former things, nor consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. And what about you? Have you ever stopped to wonder what God could do through your life, just as you are right now? So often we find ourselves waiting for the right moment, waiting for the obstacles to disappear, waiting to feel ready. But while we wait, souls are dying without hope, dying without ever knowing the love of God. Ellen White once wrote, "While many are waiting to have every obstacle removed, souls are dying without hope and without God in the world." The truth is, the path of faith is never free of challenges. And as she also said, the obstacles that hinder our progress will never disappear before a spirit that hesitates or doubts. Faith isn't about how you feel. It's about moving forward even when your heart trembles. It's about choosing to believe, choosing to obey, even when there's no clear path ahead. We must cry out to God with faith, she reminds us, whether we feel like it or not, and then live in harmony with our prayers. Our assurance is His Word, and after we have asked, we must believe. without doubting. My friend, you may not see the reward today. You may not even understand the impact you're making right now. But one day, in the light of eternity, you will see. You will see the faces of those whose lives were changed because you answered the call. Because you said yes, even when it wasn't easy. Because you believed when everything told you not to. The mission field isn't just across the ocean. It's right in front of you, in your home, in your community, in your workplace. And when God calls, He equips. He walks with you. He provides. He leads. So don't wait. Don't wait for the way to be clear. Don't wait to feel brave. Step forward in faith. Step forward in obedience. Step forward and watch what God can do through you. Adventist World Aviation, AWA, is more than just an organization. It is a lifeline, reaching people in some of the most remote and forgotten corners of the world. From the thick jungles of Guyana to the remote islands of the Philippines, and deep into the heart of Africa, AWA brings more than just medicine, supplies, and transportation. It brings hope, healing, and the everlasting gospel. Every day, mission pilots fly across dangerous terrain and over miles of wilderness to reach isolated villages with no access to roads, hospitals, or churches. They fly for medical evacuations. They deliver supplies. They respond to emergencies. They open the doors for long-term mission work. But none of this is possible without your support. This ministry is only sustained through the generosity of people like you, people who believe in the mission of Christ to go to the ends of the earth. Your donation, no matter the size, makes a difference. It fuels the planes. It keeps the missionaries on the field. It puts tools in the hands of mechanics. And most of all, it helps reach precious souls who are still waiting to hear the name of Jesus. We ask for your prayers, and if you feel moved, we invite you to give, because together, we can bring light to the darkest places. Together, we can carry the gospel where no road can take it. Together, we can fly for God. These are the adventures of Adventist World Aviation. Its ongoing mission: to go into all the world, the final frontier, to reach out and save the lives of the lost, suffering, or perishing, to seek out primitive civilizations, to help those in need, to reach the unreachable, to seek out new life in Christ, to boldly go where no missionary has gone before.